How's it going, team? We're back here at the Kiwi Hustle podcast. We've got a fight veteran today. He's one of New Zealand's best fighters ever to come out of New Zealand, a Samoan, proud Samoan. And we are so privileged to have him on board. And that's my good friend here, Mauso, Antz Notorious Nansen. How's it going, Mauso?
Yeah, good. Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Bro, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you born, your family, and obviously your culture.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Māngere. My parents come over from Samoa. They're born in Samoa. Come over Ponsonby, and like everyone else, sort of just eventuated out into South Auckland. Māngere, where I was born and raised. Found myself in martial arts, and then found myself in where I am now, really, yeah.
So what was it like growing up in 275? I saw this, there was this video, I think it was 275 Day on Tuesday, what happened on Tuesday, and they had all these amazing fighters, amazing lineage of famous people that have come from it, and I saw your name come up, Antz Nansen, Joseph Parker, Jonah Lomu. What was it like growing up in Māngere for you?
It was cool. It was a cool childhood, man. I loved Māngere. It's cool to even though there's lists of people in that, even though we didn't know each other, now that we've grown up, we almost had identical childhoods, and it was cool. And I believe that it was the area that sort of gave it to us. So I love Māngere, man. It's my hometown.
And you've got 2 kids?
I've got 4.
Four?
I got 4 boys, yeah. I got 4 boys.
And what are the names, what are the ages?
So Devlin, he's 20. And then I've got Rico, he's 11. Kyson, he's 9. And my youngest is Cobain. He's a year, 4 months.
Yeah. And bro, real quick, I wanted to touch base on your fight career. Man, what an amazing round of fights, bro. Your kickboxing career. Sorry about the before having obviously way less fights that I'd seen, but you've got 44 fights, kickboxing fights only. This is excluding your boxing and MMA as well.
Yep.
44 fights, 40 wins, 15 by KO, and then only 4 losses.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it is quite cool when you sort of read it out, eh?
Bro, you are a notorious bad man.
Yeah.
That is I would hate to walk down an alleyway and come next to you or shoulder you, bro, because it's game over. Honestly, bro, man, when I saw your most recent fight,
Yep.
and that what was his name again? You fought
just recently.
The very much one.
The Kamad.
Yes, the Kamad
Armstrong, yeah.
Armstrong from Kaikohe.
From Kaikohe, yeah.
And bro, it was a bloodbath.
Yeah.
It was a bloodbath, man. 2 amazing people going at it.
Yeah.
How did that feel to be back in the scene? I think you're 40, how old are you?
I'm 42
42?
now. Yep.
Still going hard.
Yep, 42. I don't feel 42. I feel quite young. But I don't know. But it was cool. It was cool being in the mix. It was cool having a fight like that. Even though I didn't win, like I said, I've just come to an age where belts are they're just good for holding up your pants, and records are just as good, they're just good for DJs,
Yeah.
So I'm just here for the wars, and then that was a war that that'd been brewing for a while, so it was quite good. It was quite good.
What got you into fighting?
Quite young. My father sort of put us in kung fu at first. With my older sister and my little sister, that sort of started our little love for martial arts, and then I'll be honest, it was like the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, yeah, all that kind of stuff, trying to do it at home and that. But yeah,
How old were you when you started that? What exact age?
I would have been probably 10.
Oh wow,
10,
real
yeah.
young, bro.
Yeah, we were real young. Yeah, yep.
And from kung fu, how did it eventuate? You ended up doing kickboxing from there?
So from kung fu, I sort of just held on to the martial art thing, just dabbled here and there into boxing, kickboxing, and it wasn't until I was probably my late teens I found the Thai brothers, because I was living out west at the time.
Yep.
And the Thai brothers and their father ran just the gym solely just for their family and that, but they were happy to take me in and happy to sort of give me training and stuff. And so I'd lied to them and told them that I'd had a few fights so that I could just get in there and have a fight, But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. That's how I sort of got in at first.
So would you travel from Māngere all the way out west?
No. So that's at this point I had my son, and I was living out west, out in Henderson.
You're living out west.
Yeah.
Shucks. And then you end up taking up fighting.
Yep. Sorry. And then I'd done it seriously for about a year or two. I got smoked. My first ever fight was against actually my mate now. His name is Tony Angelov. I myself am quite confident in the street. I thought, I'll be all right in the ring too, you know. So on my way there, I was having a cigarette, turned up there early and was just kicking back in the car. And then I was like, 3 2-minute rounds, I'll be fine. First round, I think that's all I remember. I just remember dropping him, and then the next 2 rounds was just staring at him while he was giving me a hiding for 4 minutes. Yeah, and that sort of put me off kickboxing for a little bit, you know. But yeah.
So that was your first fight.
That was my first ever fight.
First fight.
That was first ever fight. Yeah.
And what made you not obviously turn around and be like, I'm never doing this again? What made you come back?
I love competition. I love I believe, I don't know if it's in our lineage or in our blood or what, but I feel like maybe I've even heard this before, that maybe we were born in the wrong timeline, that we were once Spartans or something and we're just born in the wrong timeline, you know? But I just feel like the dog in me I just needed it. I needed to find out what I could do in the ring, you know? Yeah. How much I could, how far I could push it, you know?
Yeah. What school did you go to?
I went St. Peter's at first.
Yep.
Went St. Peter's College at first. I got to a rebellious year. I think at one point I had the highest suspensions for a schoolboy. I got suspended 7 times in one year. But at that point they couldn't legally kick you out until you turned 16.
Yeah.
And so and then when I finally got kicked out, I went to Marcelin College, which was cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And you finished your schooling there?
At Marcelin College, yeah.
And so straight after school, is that when you ended up taking fighting a little bit more seriously?
Yep.
Or did you do any other studies after that or nah?
Nah, I dabbled a little bit in mechanics and stuff and had a few jobs here. And I never really had a 9-to-5 job, you know? And that was a bit of a thing on I'd watch my father and my mother just slave themselves, you know, just 9 to 5, man, like most Pacific Islanders did, most Pacific Islander kids did, and then I sort of just thought, man, there's got to be an easier way to turn money here, you know, or an easier way to live, man. I couldn't see myself doing it, you know.
Yeah.
So I was always searching for the new thing, tried a bit of mechanics, tried a bit of retail in there, but nothing really stuck until fighting come along.
And so did you do that professionally or as a paid occupation? Is that how we ended up eventually going into fighting?
So what for those little jobs and that?
Yeah, bro. So
they were all just little jobs, just paying bills.
While you were still fighting,
while I was still trying to find my feet and fighting and stuff, you know. But to be honest, it wasn't until I sort of met Jason Suttie, and then that's when sort of things kicked off, you know.
Bro, and you're telling, we'll touch base obviously on the man himself, Jason Suttie.
Yeah.
Tell us about how he's impacted your life.
I always get a little bit emotional about it because he taught me a lot of stuff inside the ring, outside the ring, things that I still cherish to this day, you know, like I was saying before, I was a young father. And at the time, we didn't know that my son was autistic. We didn't know that he had Asperger's. And Jason Suttie was a father at the time too. His daughter was a couple of years older than mine. And he taught me a lot about patience, a lot about time over money. He taught me a lot about being a father. So hand in hand, while he was trying to teach me how to be a fighter, he was also teaching me how to be just a man, really, you know. So I do owe a lot of my life and the way I am now to Jason.
What were the things that he taught you, bro? Like patience, and how old were you at the time?
I would have been, when I met him, I was 21.
Yeah.
I was 21, yeah. A lot of it was patience. A lot of it was about respect.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that always stuck to me was okay, so you give respect and you should have it in return, you know?
Yeah.
And then you should know when, if you don't get respect, then you take it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's sort of stuck with me, stuff like that. Just cool stuff. I just remember as a man coming through trying to find my feet in the world.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool to be guided through it by him.
How much of him mentoring you outside the gym and the boxing ring did it make you a better fighter?
A lot of it. Yeah, I'd say a lot of it, like a lot of it, especially about discipline, about how to uphold yourself and how to like just hold yourself accountable too. You know, like a lot of it did end up being just like end up helping me in my career.
Yeah, and we were talking about his mentality briefly, and I was saying to you that he told me about obviously how he used to prep for his fights. You know, he would vision whoever he's fighting that if he doesn't beat them, they're gonna come through and kill his family and his coach. So he was like, bro, I want to kill you before you even touch my family. And he was telling me things like he'll be up in the morning, 1:30, crazy hours in the morning, doing what he needed to do. His mindset was just, and still to this day, it's just insane.
So that's where I get the people are maybe born in the wrong era. See, I get it from him. Like he was the one that explained it to me, and I honestly believe that he was either a samurai or a Spartan. He definitely is in the wrong era, man. But I have touched base on it on other times when I've spoken. But yeah, you're right. So when we go to have stare downs or when we're training, but especially at the stare down is you think the ultimate worst. You think that if you lose, that this person is gonna take over your family, you know, your family not going to eat, they're going to attack
remove the last name now.
Yeah, you know, they put their last name there, you know, just like the most out of it stuff. I don't want to say how out of it, but yeah, like, and it was cool to watch him do it and like see on film and explain it to me, like, this is what's going through his mind, this is his mindset, and man, it helps, it really did help.
What were some of the cool moments that you guys had outside the gym?
Some cool moments. Sharing birthdays, sharing just like being in each other's company outside and with minus like all the fighting, minus all the like you lax all the tension, just everything about life and that. Like I never really went anywhere. Like he used to take me to the Wellington Sevens, and that was like, man, that was real cool for me. Like I didn't really go anywhere, like things like that, and then like would always spend time fishing.
True.
Yeah, like fishing, and even though my dad was a fisherman, I hated fishing. But yeah, we just done cool things, and it was cool times that we sort of just laxed all status, and we just spoke, and it was cool, you know,
and just chilled. All right, this is mean, man. Yeah, so I wanted to touch base briefly on obviously your affiliation with the Hells, the Angels.
Yep.
What's that affiliation, and obviously how long have you been a proud member for?
I've been a proud member for 12 years, going on 13 now. Yeah, I mean it's not for everyone.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of people have their perspective on it, and that's cool. Like a lot of it's built over the narrative that the media and that push and that. So I feel like when I meet people in that, and they discover afterwards that I'm a house angel, and they're like, oh, they're not actually that bad, you know? I feel like, oh, that's cool. Like I'm doing a little bit of the part where I find like it's cool to sort of change someone's perspective on it, you know?
Yeah. What's one of the biggest things that the media sensationalize about it, about being an angel, or even just being in a gang currently?
Yeah, like the biggest thing that I still have a problem with now is like the perspective that you got to leave the gang to sort of better your life, you know?
Yeah.
And like, and if you see all these podcasts and all these people and they're like, yeah, blah, 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 my life's gotten so much better because I left the gang. Well, 90% of those guys that do those podcasts, they actually didn't leave the gang. They got kicked out. Which is totally different from what they're saying, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of it too is like they think that we just sit around all trying to organize crime all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, which is far from the truth, you know? Far from the truth. Our camaraderie is built around motorcycles.
Yeah.
Like everyone's got to have a bike, and that is built on that, you know? And most of my brothers now are all just like businessmen. They're in their own businesses, and they just got families like everyone else. And that's what it is like all of us is just the same as everyone else. We've just chosen to like stick together in this group, you know?
It's more like a community.
It is like a community, you know, like I've been part of many groups, like kickboxing groups, just group of friends, House Angels, you know, and like, in all honesty, it's all just the same. The only thing that sort of separates us a little bit is that we have these rules and morals that we got to stick by, you know, and this is what holds us accountable on this group, you know, and so do other groups like churches and stuff. They have their beliefs and what they got to do and what they got to have, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the age of say 15 and 18,
Yeah.
when boys are growing up and they're trying to find their feet. What do you think is appealing that some boys might find in gangs that family might not be able to provide them with? Depending, obviously, their family may be broken up or so forth. What is it that finds it appealing with gangs? Obviously, there's the accountability.
Yeah.
There's obviously leadership, because obviously you've got high-ranking members and so forth. What do you, from your perspective, what do you think it is?
I'll be honest. A lot of it is the flash cars, and a lot of our people come from poverty.
Yeah.
A lot of our people come from like sometimes they gotta they get home. There's no food on the table.
Yeah.
So if you put that and then you see like social media has done a big part in this in the gang growth and that and that's just from social media showing like flash bikes and all this and all that and I believe that's the big drive for young kids. They think, oh well well, I don't have food here, but maybe these boys can provide me with some food,
It's like glorified.
It is glorified, but it's glorified for the media and the wrong reason,
Yeah.
They're trying to say like all this has just come from and their statistics and their numbers are fully like fabricated,
Yeah.
Like they just blow these numbers up like just to sort of suit the narrative that they're pushing,
Yeah.
And these kids, all they see is the numbers. They're like, oh my goodness, like a $30,000 bike. Oh man, like I don't even have like $10 in my bloody bank account, And
If I join these guys,
maybe I'll be better,
Yeah. What's the reality? What is the reality? Is it that glamorous, or is it like a little bit tougher than what people think it is? What is the reality?
I can't speak for any other group.
Yeah.
I can only speak for the team that I'm with, and I believe it's hard. It's hard for us to because we hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
We set high standards, high morals, and each of us is like we help each other grow in that. Like we're not letting anyone like if you see some brother not doing so well, then we just try to pick them up.
Yeah.
Try to pick them up, and that's all I ask. It's the same, pretty much the same as another group of friend of mine. Like it's exactly the same. Yeah.
Looking back, 42 years old, Antz Nansen. Looking back at the 16-year-old Antz Nansen or 18-year-old Nansen, what are some things that you've changed as time's gone on about your life and your outlook? Having that hardcore fighting mentality, and now how you've matured. Because I've kind of seen your journey from a distance over the last maybe 8 years, and I've just noticed a complete change in you. You seem more empathetic, and you seem way more mature, and you seem way more like, I want to give back to the community, like what you're doing with Smackdown. Tell us a little bit about that journey, bro. If you were to look back over the last, however long, 20 odd years.
Yep. And like at the start of it was all about just being the best, like having the most money, doing this, doing that. It was a very sort of selfish sort of I was outlook into the career and that, as time's gone on, even with having kids and that, I'll be honest, I was quite selfish, and a lot of time I didn't spend a lot of time with my kids and that, just being selfish and that through it. But a big change was going to prison. Going to prison for a long period of time.
What was the longest leg you've done?
So the longest was the one that I just finished, which was 5 years. So I got served 6 and served 5.
Yep.
That sort of changed my perspective on everything. I found out the hard way that the most valuable thing you have in life is time. And spending who you spend time with is like money. You got to be careful of who you spend time with and that, because at that moment in time, I'm spending time paying for the mistakes that I've made.
Yeah. And that's why they make you go to prison, because it's the most expensive thing.
100%. Yeah, and then that's sort of like that's how I sort of changed my perspective on everything. It was just about time. Just about sort of like. Watching my kids grow through, like I had my kids, like I could have them whenever I wanted before prison, and I wasn't really, I'll be honest, I wasn't spending that much time with them. But then when I was forced to go to prison, I was watching them grow through like phone calls, photos on the wall. Like at one point it was only like 15-minute phone calls a week because I was at Maxi, all of that just I mean, I wish prison on no one, but I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened for me at that time, Everything is in God's plan, and I think that part of God's plan worked perfectly for me. You know, I've come out like a better man, and just more appreciative of lifetime and my family and who I choose to love. You know,
Would we have been looking at a different Antz if you hadn't have gone to prison beforehand compared to now?
yeah, you probably would have. Yep.
How different? How different? Do you think, like, what we
Yeah.
could say on camera?
Yeah. Far out. Like, I don't know if I would have learned much about empathy, sympathy. You know, I probably could have still been the selfish person that I was back then. Yeah.
What was, when you're in prison, in like what you said, Maxi, what's that like? Tell us a little bit of that, because I've never been in prison. And for people that haven't
Yep.
been, what's Maxi like? Because obviously it's a lot worse than normal.
Yeah.
You know, what is it like?
It's tough in the sense like it just the whole program is made to demoralize you, to make desensitize you, make you like pretty much just nothing. You know, you're left in a room for 24 hours of the day. You're brought out, and that's only if you're mixing with people. So you're brought out. So when I was doing it, I was brought out by myself, and so you're brought out into a little cubicle. You just walk around.
How big is the cubicle? Describe the cubicle, bro. Describe it.
This is probably the size of my room. This is actually quite big, so I'll probably say from here to you is the size of my room.
And you got your toilet in it as well.
Yeah, so your toilet's right next to your bed. So it goes your bed, your toilet, your sink. So
This is small. Like, if people don't know how big the studio is, it's tiny. And you're telling me,
I can't remember the exact dimensions. I think it might be a 2x3 or something like that, or 2x4 meters. Yeah,
dark, light.
dark. Like just cold, you know. It's not like home, like wallpapers on the wall or anything like that. Like the bed is just pretty much like a a piece of metal, and then you've got like a thin mattress on top, you know. Like it's not made to be comfortable, and that's cool. Like obviously you're there to you're serving punishment, you know, but it's not for the faint-hearted, you know. Like suicide and attempted suicide is quite high in prison, you know.
And Maxi, though.
And Maxi, you know, and a lot of like pent up like aggression is built during these times, because eventually so you work your way out to, you can go down in class and then you can get to mix with everyone else. By the time it gets to these people, like say you've been pretty much just talking to yourself for 23 hours of the day. By the time you go to talk to people, you don't even know how to conversate with them sometimes, you know, because you've been stuck by yourself. Like I remember one time when I just thought to myself, man, I'm actually talking to myself and answering my own questions. Like I'll just be watching something and then just laugh about it. I'll ask myself a question and then I'll just answer it myself too. I just thought, you know, like that's what the lockdown has done to me, you know. But everyone's different. Everyone experiences prison different. Some people experience it harsher.
Yep.
And some people just cruise through it because I don't know if they just mentally blocked it out or what. Yeah, but that was my experience with it anyway.
Wow. So, man, it's just, wow. It puts things in perspective when you actually realize what Maxi's like.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, like, you know, let's just say it's a Monday. How do you kill time?
So that's the thing, is that so best thing to do in prison is always find a routine, you know. So and you just make whatever routine you have, you know, that you can do. So for me, I always just got up. I trained in the morning. Had my breakfast, and then I would shower and that. So we were only allowed out once a time. So once out of the day. So I would shower off my sink. So that was called doing a bird bath. So you just give yourself a bird bath and that. And then you'd get down, do some reading and stuff. By then, you'd like lunchtime would come, and like just like there are ways to keep yourself occupied, but it's only because you've been pushed to that time. You know, like I know it's hard to sort of try comprehend right now that to full 23 hours or so how many hours you are awake. But when you're pushed to it, you will find a way. You know, like I read the Bible back to front a couple of times and stuff. You know. But yeah,
true.
Yeah, I actually just learned how to read properly when I was in prison, because I'm quite dyslexic and that.
Yep.
And then I found out ways and that to sort of read books. And then man, I used to just get people to send books all the time, you know, so I could just read. But yeah,
shucks. And so straight after lunch, what would be the thing that you'd continue with? So you'd finish lunch. Would you read more.
Yeah, I'd probably watch a
Workout
little bit of
again?
TV.
Oh, so you have a TV in Maxi?
Yeah, you have a TV. Yep, you have a TV if you're not on OPs, which is if you're not on punishment, you know.
Okay.
So you get a TV, so watch a little bit of TV in there, and you always have the programs that you love to watch, say like the home and aways and all that, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, you just watch a bit of TV, and then you just sort of find yourself either reading again or always training again, definitely training again, and then you just wait out your time. There's this thing that I've only sort of just kicked, which is as a habit, they call it laps. And
What's
so
laps?
like,
What's that?
So you just walk up and down. So like I remember exactly my room was only 4.5 steps. So I go 4.5 steps forward and then 4.5 steps back, and you just go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, and like I could do it for easily 2 hours, easy. And what you do is
Cardio, that's your cardio.
You just put something on TV. So they usually have like music channel and that, and you should just like remove yourself mentally from the room, you know. And like sometimes I'd picture myself like walking down the beach in there, and I'd just be walking back and forth, back and forth. My eyes would be fully open in that, but I just like mentally removed myself from the cell, you know. And I think it's a coping mechanism that everyone does in there. But I've only just started kicking. Like I just started kicking it like just recently. But yeah, for a while then when I first got out, I was like just bored. I just started like walking up and down the hallway and stuff. And
Was
just
it your
like,
partner that noticed it, or?
Yeah. It was my partner that sort of noticed it, and mum and that noticed it, and they were like, "Oh, dude, you're doing that laps thing, you know," which come in handy one time because with my new son, he couldn't go to sleep. You know, he'd only go to sleep if you'd hold him and rock him. So I'll just honestly walk around the dinner table. Be walking around a dinner table trying to put him to sleep.
4.5 steps, 4.5
Yeah,
steps.
I think she one time it was like almost 2 hours. I'd be walking him just cruising around the dinner table, holding him and that. But yeah, so just you always find ways. You always find ways.
How was it coming, getting released from prison?
Yeah.
And coming back into society? What did that feel like, bro? People don't, I suppose, you know, because you obviously had your sentence discounted.
Yep.
And you go out for parole, and hopefully pray to God that, you know, you get released. Is that how it works? How did it feel when you got that discount from obviously originally 6 to 5, and they say you were released? What did that tell us a little bit about that, bro?
Yeah, so like the process is obviously you do a 1/3, which is the normal, like if you haven't got a minimum parole period, you do 1/3, and then after a third, if you've done everything that they've asked, you go in front of a parole board, and then they're like, okay, like have you done your courses? And they sort of find out like, oh, are you ready for society and that, you know? I had done all my courses quite early in my sentence. I think it would have been about 2 years. I'd done all my courses that they asked me to do. I was well behaved. The only reason why I was still in maximum prison is because no other prisons would take me, which was weird. Like it was a real weird thing. But like the staff there, they didn't mind me, and that they just sort of kept me there. They were sweet. And I had become used to the sort of the staff and everyone there, so it was all right. But so every time I'd go up on parole, the main question that they would ask is like, "Hey, listen, are you still a house angel?" And I'd say, "Yeah, still a house angel." And they're like, "Oh, do you have any intention in leaving?" And I'd be like, "Oh, no." And so they would knock me back every single time. Every single time. Like I think I went up 4 times. On my 4th one I got it, but the other 3 times, every time I got up, it was always the same question. Everything was perfect. They were like, "Sweet, your behavior, everything's good. Are you still a house angel?" And I'd be like, "Yep, still a house angel." And they're like, "Are you gonna leave?" And I'd be like, "No, I can't." Well, not that I can't. So I said, "No, I'm not. I don't have any intentions in leaving." And like most people would lie. Most people would lie and go, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave," just so they could get out early. But I just couldn't. You know, I couldn't to myself. I couldn't. I just, you know, I have a high regard for our team and what we believe in, what we do, you know. So I didn't like it. So I ended up doing, even though I could have come out a lot earlier. Yeah, I come out 5 of the 6, which is quite late. Yeah, for someone that was my first big long prison leg, you know. Yeah, and coming out of prison, like no, it was quite bad. It was quite bad. That they don't actually give you the tools, or they don't sort of help you out to try navigate yourself back in the world, because you got to remember you've been removed from the world. Exactly. And then they just expect you to swim back in there. You know, just here you go. You know, they don't. And a lot of it's based on there's just no rehab going in there. There's no rehab going in there. There's a lot of broken men, a lot of men suffering. A lot of men, they will choose not to say all this, but but there's nothing for them, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, I was lucky when I got out. I had strong family.
Yeah.
My family, awesome family, man. I owe everything that's come, like everything good that's come of my life is based from my family and that, you know? And yeah, when I got out, I just lived with my mum and dad, and like my sister, my little sister was a massive help. She got me back into fighting and stuff. It got back into the community because I'll be honest, I was done with fighting. When I was in prison, I was like, that's it, you know, like I'm not gonna fight again, you know. By the time I get out, I'll be too old. I'll be too, you know, like I'll just be, I wouldn't have trained for long enough. But just quite recently, I won't say his name, but UFC. So when I was in prison, obviously, you're not meant to have cell phones, but I had a cell phone. And what sparked me to want to come back to fighting is one of the fighters that have made UFC now. I'm not going to say his name, but he messaged me. That's like he must have heard of my sister and goes, "Oh, what's his brother up to these days?" You know. She goes, "Oh, just give him a message. He's on Snapchat." Yeah. So just randomly, I just got this message from one of the fighters. He's like, "Hey, what are you up to?" I got chatting with him and and I just thought, "Wow, this is real cool," you know, because I've only been watching this guy. Like, I mean, I did sort of know him before I went to prison. Yeah. But I only been watching him now, and like he was making TV ads and all sorts of shit, you know. Yeah. So I was like, "Wow, this is real cool," and I just got chatting to him and that, and we just like shared a few moments, and from that's when I was like, hold on, nah, man. Like I still got a little bit to give back to like
to the fight game,
to other people that want to come through, you know. Yep. So that's what sparked my sort of attention to sort of wanting to do something, you know. And then after that, my sister just kept on feeding the fire, and she was like, "Yep, we're gonna do this when you get out. We're gonna do this," you know. And it was cool when I got out, man. My sister just held exactly what she said, man, and we were just back into it straight away. My first week I come out, my sister was like, "No, you gotta go spar straight away so we can just like sort of evaluate where you are." And I was like, "Man, I'm gonna be so good at sparring." I remember, so my nephew, his name's Patience. He's 19 now. Yeah. So when I got out, I think he was about 16 or 17. I got the biggest hiding from him. And it was like real humbling because the last time I remember him, he was like a little kid, like just up to my thigh, you know? Yeah. And then he'd grown up and he'd become good. And like, yeah, it was cool. It was cool to like come out and do everything that my sister had said that she was going to try to do for me. And we've sort of just, now we've come to like this point now of the fight game and how we are off the gym. It's been good.
Bro, that is so cool. Bro, two questions. The first thing I want to ask is the system made to keep our people inside? And the second question I want to ask is, what was the one thing you missed the most while you were inside? So the first thing is, is the system made? And if you could write the system, like if you get sentenced, so forth, even beforehand, to avoid people like us, you know, our people going into prison, what would you do different for the system to make it more better for our people, to avoid us from going into prisons and so forth?
The system is definitely not what it is. Not what it is. Like it's not a justice system. It's definitely not a justice system.
How come? Tell us.
So a lot of it is based predominantly like if you're brown, you're getting sentenced harsher. Like it's just the reality of it. It's just the reality of it. There's no rehabilitation in prison. There's no rehabilitation to reintegrate it out of prison. Yep. You know, so those two things. So we're just going to prison to be on standby for. You know, you're just going there standby your life, and then you come back out. You still have the same sort of core values and same sort of way of thinking when you went in. Yep. So if you've just kept it on for that long, when you come out, you're just doing the exact same thing. Yep. And so when you come out of prison, there's just like no support really, you know? And I take my hat off to places like Grace Foundation. Nice. Grace Foundation, man, they're doing some good work, man. Like a lot of it, like a lot of other places than that, it's based on like, oh, you got to have left the gang. You got to have done this. Whereas Grace Foundation, man, we'll just take you as you are. And if you don't abide by our rules, then you can just go back. Yeah. You know, so we're just working with the people that want to work. Yeah. And I've seen some people, I know some people personally that have, I've seen them grow in that place, man. And it's real cool. It's real cool.
I have seen them. I think that's Dave Latilli.
Yeah, it is Dave Latilli.
And his team, they do amazing. Saw one of my good friends back from school, Deacon. go through it, and I was like, whoa, he's changed his life too.
Yeah. Deacon. Yep. So, and it's good. It's good to see people that you know actually making a change in their lives.
What do you think it is that they do that's so different to every other organization that does rehabilitation into society from that?
I think a lot of it is they base a lot of their stuff around culture. They base a lot of their stuff around family. And they base a lot of their stuff around support, They're not out here trying to like just change you, like just on you about doing something, like having
They
these
take
rules.
you as you are.
They just take you as you are, and then they work with what they've got,
Yeah.
And a lot of it it's based around culture, and a lot of it's quite funny because I know some Tongan boys, Samoan boys that are in there, but they're fully heavy into the Māori culture now. But yeah, it seems to work, like they're out there doing hakas and stuff instead of training and stuff, and like it's cool. It's cool.
I think I saw when they did the world record haka competition, I think it was last year in Eden Park. I think they took a whole contingency of boys down there, bro.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
What was the one thing that you missed the most, bro? One thing that you missed the most when you were inside that you kept on getting your heart?
Probably just emotional connection with family, and loved ones, like yeah, it's just like you can't sort of even try to explain it. It's like just when you sit across from your father and you just talk to him and you just feel this cool connection, this cool bond.
Yeah.
Same thing when you hold your kids in that and you just look at them and you think, man, I created this kid, cool. You just feel so much love and joy in your heart.
Yeah.
5 years I didn't get that,
Yeah.
And I missed that a lot.
Who was the first person you hugged when you walked out?
The first person I hugged when I walked out was my son, my oldest son,
Yeah.
and my twin nieces, which is my little sister's twin nieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And then we went straight to the beach.
Oh, wow.
This is the first time I've ever touched water.
For 5 years?
For 5 years. So we went straight to the beach, and it's like a thing that prisoners do. You go out there and sort of wash the jail off you.
Oh, yeah.
With the water in that. So I just done that. Cool. And then I just remember eating so much fast food that I just went back and just like, it's almost spewed,
What makes you confident that you won't go back to Maxi or prison? What was it that you're like, I'm never coming back there? What is it?
Sort of seeing the life, having like a bit of visual on like life itself,
Yeah.
and having a bit better like understanding of life itself, and like for instance, time and that, time being so precious, just stuff like that, that deters me from fucking ever wanting to go back there,
Yeah. And now you're proud owner of Smackdown.
So my little sister owns
sister?
it,
Yeah.
and we just run it. We just run it, me, my sister, and her partner, which is Sammy.
And yeah, you guys use it as a way to, you do a lot of work with youth.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that now, bro. That you're using what you've gone through, your experience, to try to not let kids go down that path, but use, testosterone, anger, and so forth in a positive with fighting.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is. Like coming through teenagers, South Auckland in general, like man, it's quite easy to get caught up in the aggression.
Yeah.
Like spur of the moment, like things, like through fighting with our fighters, we're sort of trying to teach them, sort of trying to come up with better coping mechanisms. Like just sort of having forethought, like thinking forward instead of like thinking in this present time,
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been a good journey. Like I've been learning a lot about myself and a lot about these kids. It's been good. Such a good journey. Yep.
And you've used, like, obviously what you've gone through to mentor them and give back to the community, which is completely. Did you ever think that you'll do this like 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Did you ever think that?
Nah.
How come?
Nah, because back then the only person in the world was me, was me in fame and money and all that, That's the only person that mattered back then, whereas now it's my life's switched completely,
To have survived Maxi, you must be mentally tough. How did you keep yourself mentally tough, bro? Because you've come out probably a better Antz Nansen 2.0.
Yeah.
How did you get through it, bro? Like your mindset, maybe using mechanisms from Jason, the Bible, your family's morals.
I'll be honest, a lot of it was prayer And still to this day, still to this day, like, I know I probably get the same reaction from a lot of, even my own brothers. I went out with them, sorry, we were away on the weekend just gone, and we just got chatting, and then one of them asked me something. I was like, I still pray every night before I go to bed, and they were like, what? But yeah, a lot of it was prayer. A lot of it was prayer, faith in God, and these are things like that my parents installed in me when I was young, that like teenage years didn't really think much of it. In my 20s, didn't really, just thought, what is that, But when it comes down to the crunch, and the point that when I really needed it, man, it was strong. It was strong. My faith was strong. Prayer, I prayed every night, every morning I got up, prayed again. I'd read the passages of the Bible, try to decipher what it meant. And it was cool. At the time, when I got down to reintegrated, I could, in the 1 hour that I got out, they allowed me 3 people. I convinced the other 2 guys too, like, hey man, there's this program that they want to run with deciphering the Bible. Like a priest would come in and we'll talk about things. And these other 2 guys, like, I think one was a Black Power and the other one was, I think, I don't know, it might have been a Crip, I think. And they were like, oh yeah, sweet, let's do it, And then it was cool. It was like every week, I think it was twice a week, the priest would come down and we'll just like talk about the Bible and that. But a lot of it was faith. Faith got me through.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And so, would you say that you're a Christian potentially, or you just got strong faith now in God?
Yeah, I'd say if I just got a strong faith in God,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not Christian because I'm not a practicing one in that, but I have strong faith in God. Yep.
Did that make you miss your dad even more? Because you were saying he was a devout Christian, so obviously when you're inside, you praying with how your parents, did it make you miss your parents even more?
Yeah, it made me miss my grandmother more, which was because quite young. My grandmother lived with us, and then my grandmother found her own place, and then I wouldn't sleep at night. I wasn't eating because I missed my grandmother so much. So my parents shipped me off to live with my grandmother.
Yeah.
So quite young, she taught me, which I can't do now, is read the Bible in Samoan. We'd always pray morning, night, day, before meals, and we would always just have like a sense of like around her, like I always just felt like I was always grateful,
Yeah.
And it was cool. And I missed her. Like I actually didn't think of her for a while because she'd passed quite earlier, like in my 20s and that. So I sort of didn't realize how much I missed her until I was in prison and that. Yeah.
Bro, what a cool testimony you are, brother. Like honestly, was all to have an insight into your upbringing, your fight career, and then obviously you go to jail. You then come out and you're telling us that you were praying. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's truly amazing. It's like a 360.
Yeah. It's kind of like a 360, because you're right. It was something that I was brought up with, and then just didn't really think much about it, and then just come back around, when I needed it most,
What is on the horizon for you now, bro? Looking at the future, what's on the horizon now for you, Mosul?
I'm just gonna keep fighting till I can't fight no more, really. Until I'm trying not to look at my age too much. Like I've got a real good team behind me. I've just I recently started training with Dougie Vaini.
Yep.
And that and I just feel like I've still got a couple of more years, like good years. Me. I really want to hit bare knuckle. I'm gonna do bare knuckle before I finish. So that would probably be my last thing. And then after that, man, just like back into the community and give more.
When's your next fight? Have you got something penciled in roughly? An opponent?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get I'll be honest, I'm trying to get a rematch with the guy that I just fought, that I just lost to.
Okay. Yep.
So
you want a rematch with him?
Yeah, I just want a rematch with him. There was something penciled in. I think August 18th was the next one. But
is that with?
Yeah, that's with him.
Yep.
And we're just waiting I think he's away on holiday and he's just enjoying his time off. And I've just got a few injuries and that sort of just taken care of. But that's potentially my next date to fight.
So August,
yes.
What are you doing different this time round for this fight camp than last one that you can say on camera?
Have
you adjusted anything?
Yeah, okay. So for my last fight camp, I just finished doing home D. So like I'll be honest, I got caught with a gun at my house.
Yeah.
Which I think is everyone's right to have something.
To arm themselves.
Arm themselves at your house. I mean, no one should be carrying it around because there's no need to. But at your house, you should be allowed to have your own firearm to protect your family in there. And they got my gun in there. They charged me. I pleaded guilty to it. Got 6 months home D. I'd only been released from home D for 3 weeks before I fought that fight.
Oh, true. So you really did? You had a 3 week prep,
Pretty
roughly?
much 3 week prep. Like, and Eric, my whole team were like, "Don't do this," and I was like, "Nah, I gotta do this. I gotta do this for myself." And that, and for me, if my heart tells me that I'm 100%. Then I can convince my whole body. Like my body wasn't 100%, but my heart was telling me, and my heart was telling my brain, and my brain was telling the rest of my body, like, you guys are all right. You're all right. We can do this.
I saw some of the fight, man. You guys were bloodied up, man.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
What is it when you taste your blood, bro? Is it just like game over? I'm going to go nuts now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like maybe the animal in everyone.
Must be, bro. Especially in you, man. I've seen your fights, bro. Holy.
Like when you start bleeding and that, like I don't know, you just like kick into the sort of like beast mode where you sort of just like don't really care about anything anymore, especially not your well-being anyway.
What's your goal weight that you want to try to fight with this one? Is there? Do you look at stats like that?
I'm gonna be losing a lot of weight. I'm gonna be concentrating a lot more on footwork and a lot more stuff that like I just want to like. We're going to pretty much just break down. I don't know if you've seen that it's like a post about the eagle. When the eagle gets to like a certain age, and the only way that it can sort of come back is if it smashes its beak, pulls out its feathers. So I think that's the phase that we're going to have to go through. I've got like 12 weeks to do it. I've got 12 weeks to do it, but I believe we can do it with the team that I've got. We can get there.
And it's August the
18th.
Yeah. And where's it going to be held?
It's meant to be at the YMCA. So nothing's in pen at the moment. Like it's sort of all just like up in the air at the moment until he comes back in that year. But
and you want to confirm those details for the rematch?
Yeah, for the rematch.
Was there a rematch clause in the contract that you guys signed before?
No, there was no rematch clause. Okay. Yeah. But it was a cool fight. I enjoyed it. Like even though I come out second best in that, and even though like I got pretty banged up over it, but it was like a fight that I enjoy. I love wars,
You guys, it was so cool listening to both post interviews. He had such respect for you, like calling you one of the greatest fighters to come out of New Zealand.
Yep.
You had respect for him as well. It was so cool to just see such mutual respect with two warriors.
Yeah. Like I mean, a lot of people see fighting and they see violence. They see violence. But the fight game and training and gyms and there's creating good people. There's good things that can come of character building stuff. Like there's stuff that sometimes kids will only learn in the gym where they can't learn anywhere else. Just discipline and sort of accountability and stuff like that.
I agree. Like even when I went to sorry to bring Jason up, but when I first went to his gym, he gets everyone to shake your hand. You shake him and you look in the eyes. Straight away, that's respect. And it's taught at his gym, eh?
Yeah. Like and I suppose you won't really see it unless you're in there. But the gym's such a cool place to develop, and they develop some cool people, Yeah.
What are some words of wisdom also to finish off on that you want to say to inspire anyone? Maybe he's 15 years old, 18 years old, 40 years old. What are some words of wisdom that you want to finish off on to inspire some people that have lived a colourful background like yourself to then just know that it's not the end of the road, that you can change your life?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's exactly that. Like, whatever point you are in your world, in your life, and that, like, if you've made mistakes, everyone makes mistakes. What defines you is what you do after the mistake. It's about coming back and making yourself stronger, and just going for the best version of yourself.
Man, thank you so much, Mosel, for coming on board.
Thank you.
It's been an honor. Honestly, guys, you guys will know Antz Notorious Nansen, I should say, respectively. One of the greatest fighters to ever come out of New Zealand. And it was so cool as well to see there was that Samoan collage of all the greatest Samoan fighters.
Yeah.
He had Ray Seffel, David Tua, Mark Hunt, and you were on that, which was amazing too. How did that feel before we finished? How did that feel to see your name on that?
Felt real cool. I'm so privileged to be even named with a lot of the fighters on there, Yeah. And it was, it was a heartfelt moment, yeah.
Thank you, team. That's us for today.